When last we left off with our intrepid heroes, what happened to you guys?
Chaos.
That is very accurate.
I don't know.
You guys finished up the rest of your evening at the mayor's ball. You started out your session after you had basically screamed for help when the elven maiden passed out into Brenna's arms. So then we opened off with lots of continued hijinks as you guys tried to locate and figure out how, if any way, that you could try and take care of the crime now. And unfortunately, like most rich or high-ranking people throughout the world, accusing them of a crime is not as simple as it seems. So after a while, you had a very heated conversation with the mayor, in which the truths of those situations were made relevant to you, that you had informed the human kingdom of Arwald of the goblin assault, the goblin menace, the goblin whatever the fuck it is that they've turned it into now, and now they have to actually report on it. You've made a stink for them, even though you didn't mean to. So now, and the consequence
If telling the truth is making a stink, then let's go.
Well,
Yeah, agree to disagree on whether we meant for it to happen.
Unfortunately, shit rolls down hills in these kind of situations, and you are downhill. So they've now asked you to look into this. But Halbarad, through quite a bit of conversational nuance, managed to secure you guys a foothold with the mayor, to give you guys time to try and actually come up with proof for everything.
And totally not having a panic attack afterwards.
While saying, at the same point in time, you know, I could have been a knight. I probably still could be. If I became a knight, I'm sure I'd be able to help you out better.
Mm-hmm.
Since it was missed, since that 40-minute segment was missed from the recording, I felt like it was important to highlight that part for everybody's sakes.
Yeah.
But on the other side of all of this, the chess match with one of the knights, Wrath the Pale, continued. At first, Ukrad being unable to beat him, Halbarad not approaching in the end, which was definitely a moment I was quietly looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And Leaf then eventually having a match that seemed to have had undetermined ending. But he conceded defeat and left a silver short sword as his reward.
The gods took pity on Leaf.
And then, as you all watched, the knights began departing from the mayor's estate. But then, in the end, as you all watched them leaving, you watched as a fourth figure approached. A new knight, seeming almost to be embedded with flame, who seemed to hand a mysterious missive to the knight leader, causing him to look back at the mayor's estates, look almost to the windows that you're watching through before turning back, nodding, and them all mounting their horses and riding away without another word.
sure that'll be fine.
So, the night. Is there anything else that you guys do, kind of at the end of the ball and everything? You've been dismissed at this point. You've watched this. People are leaving. But I don't want to cut you all short and make sure that there isn't anything else that you wanted to do there. Great. You
I
all
think personally I'm good.
end up moving back to your respective domiciles or guard posts for the evening to begin descending into slumber. Ukrad. This evening, the dream seems different. You've experienced things that the orcs refer to as the green dream before. It's almost an enlightened state of euphoria in a dream state that orcs occasionally experience when they feel even deeper connection with the rest of their orc brethren. The state sometimes seems to be brought on by various things, but there's no real rhyme or reason that necessarily seems to play into it in any way you've ever found. But this evening, these same kinds of dreams seem to come to you. You find yourself floating in a almost formless, boundless abyss. Nothing but fog and no shape around you. And slowly, the presence of green light seems to fade into existence. Slowly but surely, you can become aware of this mass of unundating, green, plant-looking cells in front of you. Though floating in air, it seems as though it would be about waist high on you. But then you realize as you begin to start moving closer that it's not that it's waist high, it's that you are impossibly so far away. As you begin to move closer, you can see where tendrils and veins of life extend off of this green mass, extending into every dimension, every angle, every being that you can see. It's like a network. A pulsing green network. And you watch as it slowly begins to turn a slight red hue. You watch as this red hue starts at one slight vein and then seems to spread its way slowly before increasing speed and descending upon the green mass in one quick motion. And you watch as the light seems to go out before suddenly you watch as the light begins spreading from the core towards the rest of it. But the sight doesn't fill you with anxiety. You'd think, looking at it, that you would be concerned about this green light, about this mass, this core that seems so connected to you. But when you see this light, it just feels like how it used to be. And that's when you wake up.
Oh.
Something has happened, and something will be
I know what
over.
happened. Grom drank the demon blood.
It's I mean, that is, look, you know, there are always influences that happen, and this is definitely not that, but I definitely understand thinking that. But it's definitely going to seem close once you get it until you figure out what it is.
Okay.
But if you watch or listen or whatever to the other party, you will see that the orcs of the other party just manifested a rage. And it's because of things. And that's now going to spread through the orc system.
Interesting. You said they manifested a rage?
Uh-huh.
A rave.
No, there
Well,
is
I thought I heard raid at first, and I'm like,
No.
I don't know what that means in this context.
No, they
Are
manifested
they all inviting everybody for Molten Core? What's going
primal.
on?
They manifested primal orc rage, which once that manifests for you, you will get the full listing of exactly what it is.
Nice.
But it won't necessarily explain to you the triggers for it.
So, I have no idea what this dream means, I assume.
Not yet.
So there's nothing that I would know from, like, historic lore or anything.
Because that's the whole thing with orcs, you know, they don't have necessarily a lot of lore behind them as far as it internally. They just know that they were people of, you know, the world, and they were primal bestial creatures that caused lots of havoc and then just slowly became peaceful. And now they're just an accepted part of society. But everybody, you know, because of certain magical and whatever, understands that they are fungally infected and all of these things.
Alright, so... Sorry, guys, I'm gonna end up killing you all.
Dargouth orcs are
Kill you
40k.
first.
Dargouth orcs are 40k orcs confirmed.
Well, yes. I mean, that is
I believe in the color purple, so you'll never see it coming.
there is definitive 40k elements for why that is and everything. But
Does
anyway,
that mean that
Eh.
Ukrad could not see Halbarad during the gala?
there you'll see.
Sorry, Ukrad, for the fungal infection. Pretty sure it wasn't me, though.
I was gonna say, it's a fungal infection. Leaf is either involved or aware.
Huh.
Leaf, I thought you were supposed to finish your antibiotics before you had intercourse.
It was outer force.
So
Some things
you
antibiotics can't cure.
begin the next day. You've been tasked with a few different things. But normally, at least in this time period after finishing an assignment, you would report to your captain and you'd be given the next one. But this is a little weird because the mayor has told you exactly what your next assignment is. So it's not exactly business as normal for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been tasked with going out to be able to go to further ruins, to at least be able to give them a report to say that everything's hunky-dory. And it just so happens that a few of you have been given some extraneous tasks that also seem to extend outside of the city. You are in the guard barracks here essentially for your organizational sake, for you guys to decide what it is that you're doing, and so I can kind of help guide you. But it's kind of up to you guys to decide how it is that you're going to be doing this. Because essentially your boss's boss has told you what your job is to do. So your boss's hands are tied.
I feel like the first thing Halbard would do after giving some pocket bacon to Buddy in the morning would be checking with the sergeant if the captain is aware of our new orders, or if we have to report to him about it. Just to make sure that we're not, like, hi, we gotta go, bye, without any warning.
Okay. So you'll, like, walk up to the captain's office?
Just the surgeon, right?
Okay. So as you'll
I'm
kind
gonna
of
watch
walk
it.
out, Bright will just kind of like have kind of a wide-eyed look for a second and then kind of look down and blink for a couple seconds, then look back up at you with like a kind of a forced smile. Like, hey! You doing okay?
Yes.
Great. That's wonderful.
Should I not be?
Oh, I'm just not really used to people getting passed down missions from the mayor around here, so I don't know if you've made friends or pissed somebody off.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to go with yes on this one.
Right. So, we've kind of been informed that we now get to just kind of make do around here for the next week while you get to deal with some other things that apparently are big and important and now have to be dealt with because bigger problems have been made for them. So, we get to pull double shifts while you deal with this. So, hurry back.
We will. Sorry about that. That was not really part of the plan.
Look, I told you, there's only so many of you.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks then, right? Maybe 3 if we get lost.
I mean, look, we can leave Crowder with you if you want.
Fine. I feel at the very least we could set him up at a gate. Maybe put something in his hand. At the very least, he looks threatening to people.
Yeah, he could probably honestly hold the gate by himself, literally speaking.
Hold the
He's
gate.
just gonna walk off without saying anything.
I feel like that's about what they're used to for you.
Mm-hmm.
I said see you in 2 to 3 weeks.
Well,
Okay, well, guess that means the captain is aware, so we'll head out.
oh, yeah. Quick. He sets down a bag on the table.
Yes.
It's your nightly supply. There you go. Job's a job.
Thank you. I'm gonna take the bag and, have a look inside.
There's 50 for each person inside.
Oh, okay. I guess, like, as we're heading out, kind of hand out the 50 to each.
50 of what?
Gold.
Oh, not platinum? Okay.
Not yet. as we
Greedy
think how
boy!
It's gonna happen just yet.
I had to check.
Except for Leafs. Leafs, there's 50
Yeah.
Electrum.
Damn it.
And they don't accept it in this town.
Yeah, and everybody's like, what the fuck is this? Where did you even get this?
I never
Wooden
use
nickels.
Electrum, So when I ran Strahd, that's all I would give the players, and they all had Strahd's face on them.
Nice.
Yes. So, what's your guys' plan? I've got maps, I've got things created, but you gotta tell me what you want to do.
What direction do we have to head in, and which direction do I have to head in?
You, as well as essentially everyone else in this situation, have been warned that everything is out here. In this situation, you have been told that you are this X.
Well, Han Solo, shall we get along
Bo?
the disco run now?
Bo is this X.
Well, we definitely have to go there for sure. So, like...
That was where I
good
told
thing
you
it's on
guys. I'm sorry.
Good thing there's a lot of stuff on the way.
Where was everything happening? I didn't see that ping.
Yeah, I
So-
don't see any X's.
Let me move you guys out to the Willow Pit farm where you were before.
You can see it
there
in
we go.
Discord stream too.
You went to this ruin last time. And this farm. This is guiding of a package. This is a druid resource. This is where you've been told to go. From the mayor.
So we can zigzag a little bit and collect all of our plot coupons.
Basically. That's what I mean. I'm like, I've given you the sandbox. To me, it's just a matter of knowing, like, that's why I was like, are you doing something in town before you're going? Like, what are we doing here? You let me know, and I will help you take care of it.
Yeah. Does anyone have any purchases to make?
I need cooking utensils because I didn't get that before, but I have the money for it. And maybe some food type supplies, but I think I might have to stop at one of the farms for something more specific that I'm looking for. But for the most part, I assume I can get food in town.
Yeah.
I remembered as well. Like, I know that we're not supposed to investigate it, but we're definitely going to investigate the poisoning, right?
I mean, that's kind of what you guys had stated to him.
Absolutely.
It was just the fact that he was because he was trying to make it very aware to you that you can't just make the accusation.
Yeah.
That you're going to have a lot of evidence to go with it. So that's where you're trying to get more. You, I believe, had the teapot. You also got in that the envelope that the drugs were transported in.
So if I can change, druids can change spells right after a long rest. Would like detect poison like tell you specifically like what kind of poison it is?
Well, you had kind of a good idea about the type of poison through medicine checks and stuff, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I forgot that.
It's like an herbal tea, but like way too much.
It's
It's sleepy time tea, but aggressive.
yeah, it's like natural melatonin, but you getting hit with the 5,000.
Fair enough.
Which, since Bo has the teapot, and we know, well, especially Bo knows a herbalist in town who might be able to tell us where someone could source the melatonin 5,000. Maybe we should take a stop over there.
Yeah.
We could, while we're in town, we could split if anyone has any like purchases to make. We could split up
Do
for a
we
second,
know-
get some info and everything.
Well,
I know that this is a low magic campaign. Do we know if there's potions available at all?
there are some basic potions available as far as like healing and whatnot, because that is alchemy.
I would like to somewhere find 2 potions of healing, please.
Well, as far as if you're just trying to worry about getting healing potions and anything of that, you can get that from the Moonbear Boutique, which is the druid place that you're talking about. That is also one of the people that you have the quest with, as far as things goes.
Do they sell alchemist supplies there too?
Well, if you're looking, I mean, they might sell general alchemy supplies. If you're looking for general goods, there is an actual general goods store, as well as a forge if you're looking for that kind of stuff.
Well, I have proficiency with alchemy supplies, so maybe, Brenda, do you want me to pick up some stuff? And we can make them as needed on the road. I mean, grab a few for now, but I can grab some supplies to make some stuff for later.
I mean, we might as well grab what we can in town and then look for the stuff while we're on the road.
Never a bad idea.
We could skip getting supplies like food-wise and just hit up the Willow Pit farm, see if they can get us some supplies for like food and such.
I can forage for mushrooms.
And we can check with the Willow Pits if they will, get us something other than mushrooms as well.
Cheese and mushrooms.
Mushrooms are great. It's a bit of diversity is also good.
But there's so many different kinds of mushrooms that's diversity in itself. Leaf's just gonna kind of give you the stink eye.
Well, what do you guys want to get or not get? Because you're very correct. You can hit up Willow Pit Farm for food provisions on the way. You have
Yes,
I was
established
thinking
rapport.
of
Is there like
Let's
an
hit the
alchemist
alchemy
kit
shop,
or something?
and then
Well, that's where, at least for the basic alchemical stuff you're talking about, the Moonbear Boutique would be able to help you out.
Cool.
Since they do deal with those types of things, as well as some other alchemical and herbal type things. Not super deep, but your basics they'll be able to help with.
I remember
Oh.
looking into a Tinker's Tools kit.
Yeah, that.
How much was that again? Because I know it was pricey.
Well, there was a really nice set, and there was a normal set. That was all that was. He was showing you the two different versions.
So, don't remember if I actually bought one of the sets yet. Let me check real quick.
I mean, you can get basically anything.
Oh, I do have
for any standard equipment in town for standard equipmenting prices.
Okay. So I do
So I
have
can
Tinker's
get-
Tools.
Cooking biz.
Yeah, without worrying about RPing shopping and everything else.
How much would Smith Tools run me?
20 gold according to the book.
Okay.
I was literally on that chart.
And when it comes to stuff like gear, armor wise, kind of thinking of upping my armor a little bit.
Yep. There's a forge in town. They've got the ability to make armor and everything. And they've seemed to have been turning out some nice things recently.
how much would you charge for 2 potions of healing? There's no cost associated with them in the 2024 rules.
There's not. I just use the standard 50.
Okay, yeah, it's got the double dashes next to the cost.
Brr. Well, that's weird. Yeah, I just use the original 50 from the 2014.
Looking at the classic prices for armor,
Okay.
I think
100
I'll
gold
just try
spent.
and find some.
I'm like, yeah, you can get like a scale mail for 50. But yeah.
I think scale mail would actually be an upgrade to what I have.
Yeah, because scale mail and chain shirt are both 50, but scale mail is one higher but gives you disadvantage.
I mean, I already have disadvantage with chainmail anyway, so
Yeah,
I have
it's just a
disadvantage
matter
also
of what
with
your
chain.
dex is, because chainmail gives you no bonus at all, and well, no, they would just actually no, that would work out to be the same if you had the dex bonus. So yeah, if you've got chainmail, then you've got to spend like at least 200 gold to improve.
actually, yeah, scale would actually downgrade me because it's
Yeah.
14 plus
Plus two.
dexterity.
That's
so
what I was
you're down
saying.
to
So,
15.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was saying even if you had plus 2, you would end up at 16, which is what you have.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no difference.
Yep. So you have to spend at least 200
Okay.
gold to upgrade right now.
Yeah, don't have that.
You got this. I believe in you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with Smith tools kit.
Well, I believe in you.
Remove 20 gold from.
See, this is why I'm okay with just giving you guys a lot of gold early on, because, yeah, you guys are just going to be crafting a lot of shit anyway, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to assist as far as buying, purchasing, shopping?
I think I'm good, personally.
Then what's the plan?
I guess we hit Willow Pit and then head further west. Right?
Roll me a basic survival to see how traveling on the road goes.
Meh. Okay.
Traveling
Yeah. More than
seems
okay.
to go smoothly. Everything seems to flow without any real issue or concern. And while you're traveling, everything seems to be extremely quiet.
That's too easy. I expect a trap.
Oh,
No.
I didn't have to take us out of the way for the church this time.
I mean, I did give you also the most suspicious things I can ever say as a DM. It's quiet.
No, you would never do that.
Find ourselves back at the Willow Pit Farm. As you come to the Willow Pit Farm, you can see that the workers are still moving about, but everybody seems to be a little on edge.
Oh, I see where Kradu is now. We left him at the farm to keep chilling. Carry on.
Look, I got him off the map, damn it. He was on here. But everybody, like the workers, the general atmosphere is just on edge.
I suppose we should find out what the hubbub is.
Yeah.
As you seem to approach, you see Gladys is always excited to see you guys and just waves. Oh, hey there, sugars. How you all doing here today? You all didn't have any trouble coming into town now, did you?
No, but it looks like trouble found you.
Oh,
The general vibe of the area.
Trouble didn't find us. It's nothing like that, no. There's so much worry, you know, because the little girl went missing, so everybody's just on edge, you know.
Any
Who went
more
missing?
plants unplanting themselves and walking around?
Oh, honey, none of you heard. Well,
I guess not.
well, yeah. It was one of the other farms. Down over at James Shield Farm. It's not that far by. I guess one of their girls just went missing. I mean, you know, everybody just worries. You know, a lot of times with all this, people just come right on home and it's not really any big worry. But, you know, people worry while it's there. Just gets everybody on edge. But I'm sure Abigail's going to come home and no worry.
Did they have any strange issues with their plants also?
Plants? Well,
Like your, plants that kind of rooted themselves?
I mean, not as far as I know, but they said they kept seeing something move around their barn, but I mean, folks around here see all kinds of things, you know?
Did they say what they thought they saw?
I didn't really get a good side of it. Just short little shadowy buggers, you know?
So,
So they could
DM question, it just takes us like half a day to get here, right?
Yeah, about.
I'm gonna look back at the group and like, our mission is not that far away from here. We have a week to deal with all of that. I think we should look into the missing kid. I know it's not our job currently, but I don't like the sound of that.
I mean, we got a week. What if we just do our other tasks, and if they're still missing in a week, which is probably normal kid stuff, right? Then we look.
I feel like if the kid is still missing after a week, then you're not gonna find the kid alive.
That's
How
the
long ago
police
did the
I'm
kid
used
go
to.
missing?
Do I look like a kid, or that I know what kids do?
Did you ask
How
Brenna?
long is-
Yeah, you.
How long has the kid been missing?
Oh, well. I'd say it's only been about a day and a half now.
And what direction did they go missing in?
The barn.
You're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is James Shields Farm.
At least it's kind of on the way.
We might as well take a little detour.
Maybe they'll have some good cheeses. Hey Gladys, what kind of farm do they have?
Oh, well, you know,
Mushroom.
they're more of, you know, when you say the word farm, you don't always necessarily mean someone who's actually growing something or doing anything or contributing much. Sometimes people have just lived here for a very long time, and them and their families have lived there for a very long time as well, and they just live on the farm.
But how do they eat if they don't farm?
Well, you know, they take care of their own, but they don't really trade and sell that much. They might have the occasional extra that they'll trade, but that's about it. They mostly just try to be self-sufficient, Just the sweetest little people, The wife is just so nice. Abigail, she was a sweetheart, And I just hope if everything's okay, that she will be still as bright and talkative as she always was.
Quiet wife, family living off the grid. This can't be bad.
Why, yes.
Right.
Above game, that is exactly what they're describing.
This kid is locked in the basement somewhere.
See, you keep saying words that keep making me want to go over there and check this out and make sure everyone is actually okay.
They are not.
It's
I'll just tell you now, they are not.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sure.
it's a question of what your view on okay is, because there are definitely a variety of different types of folk that might exist up here, and just because you guys have mostly only dealt with the happy hippie farm here doesn't mean that's the only farmers that exist. So
I think we need to bring him an offering of like some moonshine, and I'll slip some mushrooms in it that make him sleepy, just in case.
Well, look, if you're going to go speak to them, what you need to know is that James Jebediah Hetsworth is the lead. He is the proprietor of their establishment. And I'm sure that he will insist that you speak with him. So just try to keep that in mind.
Okay. Could we get a spelling on the deck, please?
To really just fill you with the most sense of just trust in the name, this is the name.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that has a third in their name is, yeah.
Look, we made our gritters definitely gritters, and that's all I gotta say.
I stand by what I said. Do we have any alcohol we can offer them? And I can mix in some mushrooms that will put them to sleep and make them harmless.
Look, what you have to understand though is Eleanor used to be a really sweet thing, and then she passed. And ever since then, well, James has been a little strict with the kids.
Homicidal?
Oh, sugar, what? No. I'm just talking like, you might look like government
He's
people
just
coming onto his land.
Leaf's just gonna pat Gladys on the shoulder and just like start walking away.
Just,
Wait, weren't we here to buy food?
Nope, Brenna, we got some killing to do.
No. Wait, that was going to get some baking supply.
Be quick,
Okay.
I'm gonna go look for mushrooms while you guys are shopping.
We'll catch up to Leaf. Before we go.
Was there
You could
something
get
that y'all
some-
needed?
Yeah, we would like to buy some supplies from you. Food and the likes. The Bo wanted some cooking supplies.
Oh, cooking. What kind of cooking we doing here? You need like a cast iron? I don't know if I got an extra one around here, but I'm sure we can get you like some pots and pans and some basic little essentials. I think I got a little wood stop griddle. Yeah.
Yeah, do they also need like some flour and then maybe a little bit of oil and baking supplies?
Oh, you want like the the basics to be able to get you through it.
So I'm doing a little bit of wilderness baking.
Well, all right, all right. I think that I could be able to help you with that sort of. How much of that are you looking to cart around with those little skinny legs of yours?
We never talked about how much it would cost or how much it would weigh.
Yeah, it's really just how much you're trying to really get.
I don't know, 3 or 4 things worth. I'm sure I can get more in the future, but
Because if you're trying to get just general servings of it for baking supplies, I will do 1 silver a serving.
is a serving one person or is a serving
A meal.
an amount for a meal for
A
multiple people?
Yes,
A meal,
like
okay.
a cake is a meal, and that's gonna serve more than 1 person.
For sure. Then I want. Well, I have all sorts of gold from before, so.
Exactly.
Doesn't-
Doesn't cost much to get those things. It's the work that's put into them.
True. So I'll get like 6 of those. They're cheap, and I'm putting the work in. So it's only 6 silver, which is so cheap. Yeah, 6 is good. We'll discover what I bake in future.
Okay. Is there anything else I could help y'all with?
Do you have any strong alcohol?
Well, no. We mostly just keep like mead around here. Got some kombucha that can give you a bit of a whiff, but
Me.
Well, I love a good of a hard booch.
of course you would. Unfortunately, that's just not really our thing, you know. We got maybe some, meads and wines and, your finer samplings. Because nice things for a picnic and those sorts, but, nothing for hair of the dog. No kind of hooch.
I think Leaf's plan involves strong stuff, but
I believe in you guys to find something. Leaf's just off in the woods right now looking for mushrooms.
Well, it's up to you to tell me what you think you want to do with that. They don't unfortunately the hippie farm doesn't make hooch out here.
Just get some beer or wine.
Nobody's perfect.
Or mead.
A little hard bucha. By hard, I mean like 2%.
And I'm just going to be in the woods trying to find any kind of mushrooms that would knock them out.
I'm sure the guy who's used to only drinking bush is going to be okay with kombucha.
Any of that kombucha getting close to its expiration date?
Oh no, that's what she was saying. Like she has slightly hard kombucha that's at like the 2%, where it like starts to actually slightly ferment and everything.
It would be enough to be on the label, but not enough to matter in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, kombucha doesn't really necessarily go like that. And they're too nice of people here to have any kind of, like, poisonous type of things. Or to help you poison somebody.
Leaf's just looking for them on his own.
Are you actually looking for poisonous mushrooms?
Something that won't kill him, but might just, like, give him a little sleepy time or make him not feel well.
Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Because in this situation, this is another kind of opportune in which I'm kind of looking for my own instance of how to necessarily do this sort of thing. So Leaf goes off to try and find some sort of mushroom. Now, Leaf knows that in all of his time, mushrooms have always kind of just naturally come by him. He's never really had to struggle to be able to find these sorts of things. And Leaf's not a new young blood elf by any standard. You know, he's got a good couple hundred years on him. And even in all of that time, there's never been a moment where mushrooms were difficult. Roll me Arcana. Helps
Very difficult.
on the page where I can see it. Oh no, I mean I kind of figured that was a thing for you. You start to get this feeling, and you know that if you use your druid craft correctly with your own kind of magical skill, that you can cause mushrooms and basic vegetation to grow, and that through your own kind of skill you can try and pervert the type of mushroom that's growing from something as simple as an oyster to something much more menacing. You can't
But
quite
I
get
don't have
anything
fruit.
that's going to murder somebody outright, but you can get pretty close.
I don't have druid craft.
Why
That's
the
bow.
fuck do you not have druid craft?
Got Mold Earth and Shillelagh.
What?
Wait! I have druid craft. Guide me, Leaf.
Unfortunately, Leaf's not there.
Damn.
I'm going off of basic druid spells that help to grow things. And heaven forbid, I thought the guy who wanted to grow mushrooms all the time would have it.
Wait, I forgot. I don't have Mold Earth. I have
No.
druid craft.
It's fine. Mold Earth has its own use either. It's just something for you to get later on. You do get more cantrips as time goes.
I mean, mold earth is where you look for mushrooms.
It's how you start creating your farm.
I use Entangle to make plants grow.
Well, yes, that is a thing.
Like, could I make mushrooms grow and just burn a spell slot?
Sure. I'll allow
Okay.
it.
Burning a spell slot to make mushrooms.
So you go out into this field, and you're like, all right, I know this isn't quite ideal, but I think I can make this work. And as you do this, there's almost kind of a flash of light for a moment. And everyone else roll me a perception when this kind of happens. Because he's completely out of sight of you all when all this is occurring. Yeah.
Perception should go great.
I believe in you guys.
I don't.
Well, you know, it's where some people do good and some don't. Okay. How about you, Crud?
Rolling. Hey, I see something maybe.
There we go. So, Bo and Ukrad, you can kind of actually see this point where the tree line kind of beyond this clearing and passageway of like the path here that continues off the willow pit. You can see the edge of the tree line kind of in the distance just kind of flares for a second. And Bo, for the briefest moment, it's almost like you hear wind chimes. But Ukrad, the light seems to just almost fill you with an anxiety. And not an anxiety like, oh God, something's gonna go bad. But an anxiety like you're right on the fucking edge.
Like what? I'm about to lose my mind.
You're about to flip your shit.
Out of fear or anger?
Anger.
Huh.
And Bo hears wind chimes.
Yep.
Okay.
That is 100% correct. All right, now back to Leaf. So, Leaf, when you do this, these plants begin to grow. And roll me another Arcana check right now. And as everything starts to slowly grow out, it takes you a little bit of effort. And at first, they begin to turn into mushrooms, but you can begin to see where they're not quite turning into the ones that you want. And then suddenly your mind goes white and you don't remember anymore. And then you wake up and you're in the middle of this field of mushrooms. And all of the plants have grown. And you can see where the first part of what had begun to pollinate didn't turn into what you wanted it to. But then as the last batch of it seems to have finished up, you managed to grow 5 mushrooms at the very end that were exactly what you were ideally looking for.
All right, I'll pick those 5
And leave this giant area of mushrooms for the world.
What are the other mushrooms? Are they like edible or anything?
Oh yeah, no, there are like oyster mushrooms, chicken of the forest. Like there are just all kinds of edible mushrooms. It's just they were not what you were looking for.
Leaf's gonna like pack those 5 aside and then just gonna start collecting as many as he can and then come back to the group with like an armful of just really delicious edible mushrooms.
So about 8 minutes after you kind of see this flash, you can see where Leaf is kind of walking back towards the rest of you at the willow pit with just an armful of morels.
Bo, can you use these to make us something delicious?
I did just get the perfect setup for a puff pastry, so I could make some nice little tarts.
Well,
Sounds good to me.
so are you continuing on your way, or are you stopping by the James Shield farm?
I think we're going to the James Shield farm, right? Investigate what the fuck is going on over there.
Oh yeah, we're going to fight the child abuser.
Works for me.
You guys
I
are.
mean, is it really going to be a fight, or is it going to be a massacre?
Yes.
Everyone but the children.
You guys are real big on that of everything I show you at every point. You're like, I'm sorry, they did what now? And you said their house was what direction?
Show me who hurt you, we'll kill them.
Oh, did you pick up like kombucha, or what did you grab back there to drink?
Oh yeah, for sure. I got some hard booch. Totally, at least 2%.
Ah, can I see that?
Oh yeah. I don't know how much the booch was, but I have money.
Luke's just gonna start like grinding up the mushrooms and mixing it in.
We get some
Into the
flavored water.
kombucha.
What's that?
We got a bit of flavored water.
Eh. This will give them good dreams.
So, as you all begin approaching James Shield Farm, you are at first greeted by the signs alerting you that they do not want any governmental officials on their property. They see themselves as a separate area, a separate kingdom here, and do not recognize the registration of the Airlees Kingdom.
Dude, I live in the
would
forest,
mean-
and these guys are fucking psychos.
I mean, I guess that would mean that we're
Fucking
not government.
cultists.
We're not government people because they don't recognize the government. So we're just, people. And I will be ready to pull out my shield and use a dodge action in case we
I
start
mean,
getting shot at.
we aren't technically officials. We are kind of just the law.
Definitely different, different levels of
Alright,
government. We're town people. Yeah? Do we have jurisdiction
Yeah.
here?
We're heavily townsfolks.
Well, like all
so
good
from
medieval
now on,
kingdoms.
my scimitar is named Law and my dagger is named Order. So let's go bring these people some law and order.
Dun dun.
I mean, like all medieval kingdoms, the kind of established borders are really just what they could enforce. Because as far as this direction goes, this isn't the direction of civilization. So, I mean, really, this is the limits of kind of what is enforceable by the Empire. So, probably not very many people come this way. And if this guy is this much of a jackass, they probably leave him alone because he's just too much to deal with.
Well, then let's go force some society on him.
So, as you guys kind of get through the clearing, you begin coming upon the rest of the site of this farm. And and we're kind of told that numbers of generations of people had lived out here in this farm. But you weren't necessarily ready for the level of lack of upkeep that you were going to come upon when you were told that. But it's kind of similar to parts of the elven area of Egerlis that you'd seen. Some of those estates have been cared for throughout time, and they're very fine and wonderful and lavish places, but some of them are run-down shitholes. This is an example of the latter. The rickety boards and run-down looks and of chipping paint tells you that most things here have not seen general upkeep. As you're approaching, you can see where there's a young boy kind of sitting on the edge of the pond, kind of seemingly with one foot in, fishing. You can see what appears to be a little girl kind of running around in a back field. Doesn't seem to have much care.
I'm still very much cautious and looking around for any kind of, surprise attack.
So do you guys continue kind of approaching the rest of the buildings and everything that they have here?
Yeah.
So once you start to approach the actual buildings and come a little closer, the boy that's sitting there fishing will all of a sudden run off into one of the buildings. And you'll see suddenly where the girl playing in the field will just kind of stop and be staring at you guys. And she'll just kind of
wave.
She just kind of does one of those slack waves at her side, and then just kind of keeps staring at you guys from across the field.
Well, looks like we found the missing girl.
And then you hear that sound, that slapping wood on wood sound of a screen door being flung as far as its spring will allow itself before it begins snapping its way back. And the heavy, ill-fitting boots of James Jebediah Hetsworth as he descends the short couple steps from his small domicile and begins quickly, at least as well as his untied boots will allow him, to approach you guys as he slowly snaps one strap of his overall over his shoulder. Hey! Hey, what you doing over here? Hey, ain't you see the sign?
We're not here on official business. We're simply
Don't want none!
citizens.
We ain't buying.
Heard someone went missing.
I don't know nothing about that. Kids are kids.
So you do know something about it.
About what?
I did not mention a child. I said someone went missing.
Well, there's nothing but me and my wonderful children up here. And we're doing just fine.
Oh, your wonderful children -1.
Make me an insight check.
Could I assist the
No.
insight check by trying to kind of maybe trigger some kind of like involuntary response by mentioning like something about a barn as well that we overheard?
You,
See if you, like, would
I
choose-
mean, I will allow multiple people in this situation as you're all standing there
Okay.
kind of watching this conversation.
Is
That
it
and-
too visual to guidance anyway?
Yeah, it's a bit too much for that.
Okay, just checking.
We are all great.
See,
Yeah,
and I'm
this
like,
is the wrong character for insight.
you guys are not stacking insight, and you're doing so great on your rolls. So,
Except for me.
oh my, Ukron, gain inspiration for the night.
Okay.
So what? Everybody else kind of misses it, but Bo, you can kind of see when all of this conversation keeps going back, he kind of looks back for just the moment, and then there's almost kind of a grimace. Look, I don't know what you heard from any sort of busy mouth anybody in the city, but we ain't got no problems around here. My children are doing just fine.
And they're all accounted for?
They're just fine.
Well, that doesn't really answer the question, though, does it?
Listen, we're just performing an inquiry. If we don't have answers and we have to report back that something seems amiss, they're going to bring a whole heap of people down here to start asking questions. We just want to get to the bottom of this so we can move on with our day.
I
mean,
guess.
Last time we made a report,
since
knights showed up.
No. I'm like, hold on. Before you're saying that, I'm trying to determine. I'm like, well, that was more persuasion than intimidation. And they're like, no, I'm going intimidation. Like,
I was trying to go for persuasion.
I know. That's why I was like, hold on. I will give you the persuasion before Hallbrod gets so angry on him.
Yeah, well, I have a +0 to both, so either way is fine.
You got this.
I believe in you.
Fat 9.
Never mind.
I mean, that die rolled around for a minute before it decided.
Mm-hmm.
You guys never make this so easy on me, I swear. That's what I thought. A report. I thought you weren't part of no government officials. Now you're telling me what you are. Bringing your feds down up in here.
I said that we're not here on official business.
Making reports. If it's not official, then why you gotta make a report, smarty man?
Because of the stupid bureaucracy, everybody needs a report on everything, even if it's just, hey, nothing happened.
I might enjoy trying to RP sovereign citizens a little too much.
Leaf's just gonna wander out of the woods with some of those like morel mushrooms and be like, just kind of like muttering to himself, like, "Oh man, these are some really good things I found."
Really? You're gonna walk up doing the nom nom nom. Oh my, these are so tasty.
Who the fuck are these guys? Who the fuck are you? Just gonna look at both James and then look at Britta and be like, kind of like, where did you guys come from?
There's just more of you coming out of the woods. I see. How many of you are there?
Just me? I was just trying to be self-sufficient and find food to eat.
Don't mind him. He's one of them hippie druids.
Jebediah, Mildred, you make sure to hide under the floorboards. We don't know how many of these government folks are coming out.
Sir, do I look like a government folk?
Oh, you look sketchy.
Now, I don't mean to question your judgment, but yelling to someone where to hide doesn't really make it a great option for them to hide.
Oh, they're armed. You try us.
I'm sure they are. I'm not sure why we're not being aggressive here.
Oh, I know. You done been sneaking around for nights, trying to get in my barn, trying to get in my house, but no, I got you now. You're here, in front of me, and I can see you. Oh no, you not getting
We were
away
at a
this
boring hour
time.
last night.
So what
We
we
were
heard about
stuck
the
at a
bomb was
boring
a
ball last night. We weren't here.
Mm-hmm. Walking out of my woods now, walking out of my woods then, I see through you shadow people.
Well, how about we make this very plain and, you come with us to the barn and we all have a look together.
Fine, I'll show you your creepy lizard footprints. Fine, I'll show you. He begins marching angrily down the pathway that quickly kind of just turns to mud and gravel as he's walking through. And he'll walk.
When he turns around, I'll look at Leaf and Bo because, Bo is a party. I'm like, lizard footprints?
Was me.
As soon as he turns his back and I'm pretty sure he can't see me, I'm gonna cast message to him and just whisper, "If you build it, they will come."
He just
Watch the
he
skies.
just stops, and he just grabs his head and kind of like looks around, and then he starts rolling around in the dirt. All right, I gotta roll. God, yeah, he did.
Roll initiative.
He did. No. Oh, good. You're not the only one rolling terrible. He rolls around the dirt about here before he runs right into the pond. Just screaming, "The lizard people are in my head!"
I'm gonna cast message again. Tell them where the girl is.
I have such great perception. I have no fucking idea what's going on. I'm like, are you okay, sir?
You guys are just kind of left at the edge of the pond as he's like thrashing and flailing in this. I mean, he's not in the super deep end at this point, but he's just screaming, "The lizard people have come back for my soft bits!" And he's just kind of like dunking his head repeatedly in and out of the water. Just like...
I'm gonna cast message again. We are not the lizard people. We are the mole people.
You should have said badger people because then I could turn into a large badger and freak him out.
Oh, gee, that was lower.
Can you not turn into a giant mole?
He stops. And just...
I'm gonna give this guy a nervous break.
You watch as these just blood-stricken wide eyes just slowly begin to drift to the ground. And he screams and just kind of takes off slowly because he's in the water. But you see as he kind of makes for the shore over on this side and goes in. It almost looks kind of like in the same general direction he was trying to lead you guys initially. But as he kind of flings the door open for this this barn, you just kind of hear the immediate rattling of tools. It'll take you just a kind of a moment to get there after him as this kind of cacophony of sounds is emitting through these open barn doors. And then he'll just kind of walk out a moment later with a big spade shovel. And he's like, "They're in the goddamn ground, then!" I didn't say a hole.
Fucking hell, man. You look really pale.
You better help me dig.
Here. Have a little bit of this to drink. It'll help calm your nerves.
There's no time to drink now, boy.
You
More people are coming!
I will dig. You need to calm down. Have a drink. And Leaf will try to take the spade from him.
Didn't you just unlearn Mold Earth?
No, I didn't change it. I still have it.
Oh, okay, good.
Just point me where to dig. You just take a drink and relax.
Look, we gotta find their initial point of entry. From there, it's a matter of rooting out the bastards. I've dealt with moles before. People moles gotta be at least 3 times as crafty.
Alright, where do you want me to dig? And Leaf will hand the bottle of hard kombucha to him.
Look, you start searching, and I'll show you where the rest is.
Okay.
And he will direct you outside to start looking for giant mold holes. Find that molehill for him.
While that's going on, I'm gonna.
While he's
have a
occupied,
peek. Yeah.
can we
I
start
think we're
looking
gonna
at
have a peek
buildings?
in there. Yeah.
Oh no, he will come back looking for you two after that point.
Okay, so he's not like looking at me anymore?
No, not at this point.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna use my wild shape to turn into a giant badger and dig a hole.
So at this point, he starts to grab. I mean, I hate to say it for this side of person, but he's gonna grab a halberod because he's the human male here. He'd be like, "Look, I'm gonna show you where they came in before, but I didn't see no dig out."
Okay.
And he kind of just kind of grabs you by the elbow to steer you and kind of like half pulls you in his almost belligerent state through the doors. And you can see where he all of a sudden runs over and begins pulling a chain to open the loft door so that there's a little bit of extra light coming in through the side. And as it does, you can see where there's actually these small footprints. And they're definitely not human. But they don't look quite like lizard.
Are they wig-like?
Gosh, I think you'd have to roll some sort of survival or nature to be able to determine what these are.
Let's go with survival, because that's the one I have a +2.
You're also not the only one there.
Good. It's a very
Ooh,
good
can
thing
I
not
get
the
in
only
on
one.
these rolls too?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you're allowed to get in on these rolls.
Does anyone need some nature?
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'll let both Brenna and Bo roll on this. Brenna, you actually saw these types of footprints before, actually. Bo, you recognize it's definitely not a beast mark at all. Those are goblin footprints.
Hey, gobbies.
Oh, we got some code 1732. We're gonna have to turn this in.
The hell you mean turn this in?
Sir, you got a goblin infestation. How long have you been harboring illegal goblins?
What the hell you mean harboring?
Well, this is your place, is it not?
You don't see no gosh darn goblins around here?
Their footprints are everywhere, sir. Look right here.
That's the problem. I sees them at night. I tries to run them off and they just disappear.
Well, now the thing is, we just heard you telling someone to hide under the... So we can't be sure that you're not also hiding goblins.
Look.
Can I take a look around the outside of the building and, like, in the front of the tree line to see if there's more footprints?
Yeah. You can definitely survival to look and try and track them through everything. Because that is what one of the things that does. So you're able to kind of like track it through, and you can see where what you're seeing in here looks like they were kind of rooting through things and looking for supplies. Potentially didn't find much in this kind of ramshackled place. But it looks like that there were probably at least 3 or 4 of them that moved through here, where they kind of entered in through the barn door, rooted through everything, and then kind of exited out the same way. And you can see where they started to move a little closer to the other buildings. But these 2 buildings here, kind of on the edge of the tree line over here, they were kind of more easily able to access from the back tree line.
So I get the sense that they've run off, like, this way into the woods.
Yep. They came out of the woods, looked around a little bit, saw these 2 buildings were separated from the rest and didn't have lights on them like people were in them, and they rooted around. And you can see where it looks like they've tried to get a little closer to some of the buildings, but they've potentially been run off or not gotten too close to where there was a light source or something put up.
Does it look like they drugged someone with them or carried someone heavier with them when they left?
Not you can see.
Alright, I will go back into the barn and report back in. Yeah, they definitely took off through the woods. We've got an encampment out there somewhere.
Well, we're definitely going to have to look into that.
What the hell you mean an encampment?
Well,
I can't be having no encampment around here. You gotta look into this.
yes.
Oh, so
We
now you want the government's help.
That's how it always works. Come on. I know how to RP this. Thank you.
While you guys are arguing and talking to him, Leaf is just digging through holes in his land.
Leaf is already on the original plan, which was mole people. He doesn't know that you've told him it's goblins now. So he's living his best mole life out there, just digging it up.
They're working together.
This guy needs his head fucked with. I'm not gonna tell Leaf. I'm gonna let him continue to dig holes.
The ghouls and the goblins are working
Goblins
together.
goblins live in burrows, so it's fine.
He's gonna be seeing mole people for the next 7 years.
I mean, he just mine out here. You've officially made him an absolute alien conspiracy theorist for as long as he's alive out here.
Amazing.
And I guess it is about that time where he would essentially, he's like, as you guys are kind of sharing this information, he would turn around and see these holes that have been being dug behind his. What is the burrow speed of the creature that you are?
10 feet.
Okay, so it would take you a little. It's nothing crazy, so. But you're able to get a few different ones here. So roll me a d6.
Did that not show up? It came up as a 5.
I'd say it didn't show up for me, but I'll take it. You've managed to start on your 5th hole here of just like badger butt out, just slowly digging as he walks out and he's like, "What the hell happened to my field?"
That really cut out hard for me. It might have been a little too loud.
What the hell happened to my field?
Old people.
You've essentially given this guy the most my cabbage's reaction to walking outside in this situation. Because
Nice.
it's just like, there wasn't any goddamn holes here. I told you to look for them.
The badger's just gonna like pop its head out of a hole and then just kind of like wander off into the forest.
You should have the badger walk on its hind legs.
Oh yeah, and it would be, and it can speak, so I guess Leaf will be like, "Sup." Walks away.
Fucking skinwalker.
How fast can those things move?
30 feet.
Okay, yeah, because you're gonna start walking off, and he's gonna look for the shovel that you dropped and like grab it and start to run after you. So I assume as you said, you're going to run off into the woods. He's going to, as a normal hillbilly, only take about like 3 steps into the wood line and then just kind of stop and be like, "Yeah, god damn thing!"
It was my land. I was here before you. We'll be back in greater numbers.
Once he's in the tree line and out of sight of me again, I'm going to cast message again and say, "Travel in at your own risk. You can't see us, but we can see you."
He rolled high with the talking badger. All right, that's a 6 again. Okay. He's going to run from the tree line, kind of back to the house, where you're going to hear him screaming a couple children's names as he's rooting around looking for things.
Okay, so that was fun but completely pointless. Did we find anything out other than the fact that he's not the greatest parent?
Well, we found out that the goblins have been pushing around here as well.
That you did.
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Funny that. Not all
Yeah,
leads are big leads.
The path that the goblins took through the woods, does it look like it heads towards the next location that we have to check out, the next ruin?
Well, at the very least, it definitely seems to be going, like, because you're here now. It's going up this way.
Might as well keep on following.
Well, you have a location marked here, a location marked here. You can try and track that, or you can try and head towards one of those.
And the mayor also wants us to look into some ruins closer to what was the fake capital.
Yes, over here.
Well, if it looks like the goblins are going kind of in the direction towards Brenna's stash thing that we got to pick up, we can just try to follow it on the way to her stuff.
Bo, how quickly do we have to get to your side quest?
Undeterminate amount of time. Kind of like if we get it, we can see if you're, magically what might go on, but I don't know. There's no time frame.
Yeah, there wasn't really a time frame. It was just get me these things so that I can try and do a spell to ascertain a better warning of what is to come.
Like as soon as possible is pretty good.
Well, I'm thinking if we make our path go this way, and we can circle back this way on the way home and just make a giant loop. That way we can hit all of our objectives and kind of follow the goblin path as much as we can also.
Well, yeah, that seems
Since
like
this
a good
farm
idea.
kind of took us out of our comfort zone anyway.
You can say that again.
Yeah, we can loop around.
Okay. Well, then make me a survival check as you make your way towards that X marked by Ilgot for you.
Okay. As we start to leave the farm, I'm going to cast one last message and say, "Come, get up. Seize what you do at night."
You just kind of hear screaming from inside as he continues to try. Oh shit! Continues
Woof.
to try and find what it is that he believes he can arm himself with inside.
Good job, Frank. You broke roll 20 for Daryl.
No, I hit I hit F1 on my keyboard and it made it pop up just the help thing for Chrome, and since I have it on full screen, that's all it was showing. So, it's a terrible survival check.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Are we
On
going
the
back to
die.
the church?
Nope. No,
Although it'd be
not
funny if
that
we
one.
always
We're wandering
back.
into a goblin den.
It would be funny though every time you do a shitty roll if we like end up at the exact same church.
Hello.
Weren't we on a different continent like 3 minutes ago?
Damn it, not again.
Oh, hello, travelers.
We're basically the mount in every game, you know? You changed maps, but if you whistle, it'll come.
But instead of a mount, it's a creepy priest.
Yep.
They have non-creepy ones.
Yes. I've met some nice ones. So, traveling through the woods after a little bit of time, you don't seem to quite be getting near where you believe you should be. But as the end of the first day begins to draw to an end, you can make out firelight up on a bit of a cliffside near where you are. Out this far, there usually aren't those sort of things.
we should probably get our sneakier folks to push up, and I will hang back a little bit.
Has like an hour passed yet, or no?
Yes.
Okay, no longer a badger. Just a loud, clanky druid.
Clanky,
I
clanky.
suppose I can take a closer look if you wish.
Well, if we're gonna set up camp for the night, we might as well make sure that we're not gonna get ambushed.
This trail heads literally zigzags around.
By the
Wait,
way,
are
I
we supposed to be
cannot see
seeing
anything
something?
on the map. Yeah,
Oh?
it's just all black.
What?
I can see, but it's like a shaded, so I don't know if it's supposed to be dark or something out.
Yes. Where you are right now, those of you without dark vision, probably
Oh,
can't
man.
see much. Those of you without dark vision, here, let me put a torch on you, Halbarad.
Thank you.
Did
You're gonna
that
give
help?
away our position.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's literally the situation you're being presented with here. Because no, not all of you can't see. You two that don't have dark vision cannot see. So yes. And that weird little dark like sense that you're getting, that is your dark vision. Hence why you can see it's a weird little color, but it's not black. Like they see nothing.
Damn it, human.
So,
All better.
yeah, back to your previous question. Yeah, you're right. Man, you should be stealthy. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, if I can't see shit, I'm not going to be a very good scout. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go ahead and see what's up there.
You want?
Well-
Do you want me to send Leaf's little spider friend?
Yeah, I was gonna say also Buddy can see in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. It's not quite the same communication as you get with the animal
Yeah.
companion, but yeah.
Just a quick question for the ether. How the fuck does the world's most popular thief race not have dark vision?
Because you're hobbits.
To keep you in check.
You're hobbits. I'm sorry. That's why.
You
Brenna would
can't
be
call
too
us that.
powerful. Brenna would be too powerful if she could see.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that because Lord of the Rings role-playing game is on D&D Beyond as well, I can call you that.
Brenna, do you have hairy feet?
You can't ask a girl that.
We're just trying to clarify something here. Do you have hairy feet?
So,
No, I shave.
Okay, so you have hairy feet. You're a hobbit.
so what in this situation do we do to solve it?
Well, I can send a little spider. Or
I mean, it doesn't have to be a spider, but yeah.
why would I not want to send a spider?
It moves kind of
Spiders are
slow.
awful.
Yeah, good point.
Do they
You
even
could
have
a
dark vision?
tendency of slapping them.
Yeah, they might not have dark vision. I mean, I feel like they should.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like cats should, but here we are.
What?
I could do something
Yeah.
lame and do like an owl.
Yeah. You could. So is that what you're doing?
1 second. Let me see what my options are.
I mean, I know you can get an owl.
But do I want an owl? Yeah, I'll go with an owl. I was gonna look at a giant spider, but they're too big. Because then it would have went faster. than the spider.
Have a magic owl.
Bye, magic owl.
Whoo! Whoo! Hey.
Oh, I can't move it.
Man, give me a moment.
Also the quietest bird in flight.
It's my owl. What do you expect?
I'd expect it to have a trail of spools.
No. No.
Maybe.
How about now?
Yes. And I have multiple.
Stop it. How? Why is there? How is there?
Why is that?
I'm trying to figure out why
They keep
there's two.
replicating.
Why?
It's the mushroom
Go
owl.
away. Delete. Why is it? What the fuck? Is my shit just crashing? What the?
Yep.
Oh no, this I reloaded it. Yep, they're just gone permanently now. Awesome. Let's do that all again.
Could have just went with the spider.
Come on. Okay. Now hopefully it doesn't make that be terrible all again.
Okay. Looks like it's okay. Okay. I guess we will have the owls scout around on the trail. Guys, it sees some light up ahead, I think.
Yeah, you saw firelight when you were getting close here.
Okay. Guys, there are some goblins. The owl's just gonna kind of roost on the rock up here. Acting all owl-like.
How many goblins do we have up there?
Looks like at least 4 scouts and 1 leader, so 5 goblins.
Alright.
The 4 scouts are around a campfire, and the leader looks like they're in a building of sorts.
I have an idea, but I don't know how much Halbrand knows about goblins. So what kind of roll should I make?
Well, what's the idea?
Well, Graham knows that goblins are not, at least in rules as written, they're not the most courageous. And if you
Nope.
kill the stronger one, they kind of just either scatter or, follow your lead. But I don't know if Halbarad knows that.
History.
Don't fuck me.
So how
If he's making this
Okay.
plan out loud, can we help him?
I mean, he rolled pretty good.
So Halbarad's going to kill the leader and become the new Goblin King?
Do any
Well, I
of
don't know
you
about
The
speak
Nilbog.
any kind of goblin race? Like goblinoid? Do you have any way to try and speak goblinoid anyway?
I do not and cannot.
All right. Just checking on that, boy. I didn't
Mhm.
think you did. So all right. I'll follow your lead.
Right behind you, Halbarad, if you want to go first.
Okay. I'm
Our
thinking
brave knight in training.
maybe I can try and make them understand that I want to. And we can kind of go for like a duel kind of situation and hope that they scatter.
I think you need to bang on your chest and make howling, like loud sounds.
I'm gonna get behind a rock and cast
I am
Produce
rolling
Flame.
fucking insight on that just in case, because Trippy Mushroom guy telling me that I need to bang on my chest and make noises.
You're like,
It's a bit
Leaf's
suspicious.
Leaf's got no fucking clue.
He's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta assert your
yes.
dominance. That's obviously what you gotta
Literally how
do.
God
I've
is
seen
like,
animals in the wild do
Uh-huh.
that, so sure. Why not?
Yeah. You're like, You're like, but they
So
are animals.
Halbarad has a torch lit, right?
Well, I took that back after I pointed that out. Because
Halbarad breaks fire.
I was saying, like, so you guys have to understand that you were consciously doing that.
Mhm.
But you can light a torch.
I'm gonna duck behind the biggest rock I can find and cast Produce Flame.
Woo. Nice.
And that is 20/20 bright light, 20 bright, 20 dim.
Yeah, which I think is what I have this as, actually. Yep, 2020. Because that is standard torch range, too. So that is what the torch here is actually set for, is 2020.
All right.
Just so you know.
Let's give this a shot.
All right.
Hope the torch is not following me.
So are you guys stealthing at all on this approach? Are you being as loud as possible?
I won't stealth, but I won't be trying to make extra noise either, because I don't want them to get into ambush position.
Okay. And
I'm gonna try and be quiet, even though I know stealth is at disadvantage with the light on.
yeah. And so, Leaf, are you walking up with everybody, or are you keeping your vision through the owl?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you following up with everybody, or are you keeping your vision in the owl? Because you have to focus to essentially get the vision.
I guess I will go out owl vision for a little bit to follow everyone.
Okay. So you can, from your kind of higher perspective watching through the owl, you can see a little bit where the tree line and cliff edge kind of lights up a little bit in contrast when the torch lights. And are you then continuing around the edge, Halbarad, like away from everybody?
Yeah. I'll keep moving up.
I'll stay about 35 feet back, so there's like 5 feet of bright light or dim light around Halbarad as he moves.
Okay. So you guys will work your way, over that way, and then vision should open up naturally for you. That's the fun of one-way walls. You can create one-way distances like that. So it gives you the perception of elevation. Now, as they begin walking up this second area, I begin rolling.
I'm not currently holding any weapons, but I have a hand behind my back, like holding the shield, and just ready to like pull it up.
Nah, man, you gotta have that shield out, and you gotta be beating your sword on the shield as you walk.
So,
Dominance. You gotta assert dominance, man.
Leaf, roll me a perception check through the owl.
How is that different than my normal?
I don't know. If it has any bonuses, you get a bonus.
It's it's the mental score, so it should just be his, right?
No, it is. It is the same. I'm just saying if there's a sense, like certain animals give you bonuses for senses, like keen senses.
Double checking. Keen hearing and sight. Advantage on wisdom perception checks.
See, look at that. It mattered.
It really did.
See? See? I know my rules. You see kind of quietly where one of them is kind of peeking at the edge of it. And you can kind of see where the three of them on the far side of the fire are all kind of turning their heads to look at the edge of the cliff face there. And at first, the one who's back to it just seems completely and utterly clueless of anything. Then after a second, one of them on the side kind of like slaps his shoulder, and he just kind of cluelessly looks at him like, "What?" And you see as he kind of gestures towards the side, and he kind of just spins around and looks, and you can't tell, but you get the feeling that he still doesn't quite see whatever it is that they're trying to look at, but he's at least going to face the same direction as them.
So they at least see that he's coming. So I think like Leaf and Sylvan, just to mess with them, is just gonna like yell loudly, and Sylvan like, "All hail Halbarad, fierce warrior."
You watch as they start drawing bows.
Sweet, that worked well.
Did it?
Some weird language they wouldn't understand out.
Or they heard screaming in the woods. One or the other.
Yeah.
They don't have to understand it to hear all of a sudden in the woods around them. That's enough for me to go get my weapon. Like, oh shit. Well,
Not knowing about that, I'm just gonna keep on walking. Still very much like on edge and ready to pull out my shield.
you hear some sort of call out to you, but it doesn't seem to make much sense. Ukrad, roll me
Yo,
intelligence or wisdom. I'll let you choose.
they're both the same. We'll just go intelligence then, I guess.
Well, I was trying.
Good news is they're both +1, so there's nothing terrible.
Hey!
Nice.
The dialect is different than Orcish, but Goblin and Orcish share enough dialect similarities that you can get at least most of the gist of what they're saying, but it's very kind of broken up.
What are they saying?
As far as you get from it all, it's essentially, who the fuck's there?
Or they're asking for a turkey sandwich.
Or something about, I slept in late today and my left side hurts. One or the other.
50-50 shot.
Turkey sandwich or didn't sleep well.
You might as well move up here where they are, since you have the longest dark vision here.
I'm gonna look around. Not really seeing much. Because dark as shit. But I kind of like slow my pace, but I'm not stopping. I'm just looking around.
You see what looks like the bush over here kind of shift, and you hear the clanging of like a pebble bouncing down the cliff face a little bit.
I'm not gonna quickly do it, but I'm gonna pull out my shield and just like hit it a couple times.
Ah! Ah! And then the same statement again.
Gonna look back at the group. Anyone know what they're saying?
Not a clue.
I
Ukrad.
guess I'll. Wink, wink. Help.
What? I'm
There's-
sorry, I was distracted.
This is your moment, son.
What was the question?
I was asking like, does anyone know what they're saying?
They're either saying, who's there? Or they're saying that they woke up with their left side numb. It really,
Okay.
really could be either way.
I'll try and default to the first option.
Honestly, that makes the most sense, but some people just like to talk about their sleep. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna turn back towards the bush, moving bush, and like, because At this point, I'm not even surprised that there's a moving bush. I'm not even expecting it to be a goblin. I'm just expecting it to actually be a fucking moving bush.
Roll
That's what we
me
fought last
just
time.
base intelligence.
Yeah, it's a moving bush.
That's a moving bush, yeah.
I'll kind of like look at it and like, if you understand common, I am Halbarad. I have come to challenge your leader.
Session 7 and Halbarad's already showing signs of PTSD. You hear kind of what seems to be screaming back and forth in a different language and then shifting back and forth as one of them runs off to try and speak with someone kind of off to the side.
And then look back to the group and like literally thumbs up. Like, I think that went well.
And after a while, you kind of hear some scrambling, and then you can kind of hear where another kind of slower walk seems to edge over. Don't got one!
Well, then who is the strongest among you?
Don't got one!
Are you saying you're all weak?
Not interested!
They look puny.
I agree.
Challenge him to Dragon Chess.
What are you interested in then?
Surviving.
I can understand that. Now, the thing is, you've been getting a bit close to our settlements, and people are a little on edge about that. You
No
wouldn't
choice.
know anything about a small human missing.
No choice but to get close. It's where we push. We've been pushed out.
And why? Like, what has been pushing you this way?
You just hear the sound of him spitting. No children!
Well, a child has gone missing from a farm, and there were goblin tracks. I'm not saying it was your tracks, but it is possible. You understand that we have to look into this.
Who you speak?
I didn't really catch that.
Who you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am Halbarad. Like I mentioned, I am with a group, and I gesture back to the party, and we have been sent to investigate the area. We are part of the settlement close by, the large settlement close by.
We take nothing. They have no food, we go.
Okay. That's understandable. We still have to try and find the child that is missing.
No child.
Right. Are there other scouting parties like yours? Perhaps one of them took the child.
No.
Look, if you can help us, we can help you. We can maybe, work out a place where you can settle down,
You want help, you let us go.
able to survive. Well, if you go, how are you going to help us?
Are you trying
See,
to
right
approach?
now we have a communication. I'm just staying where I am
Okay.
because it seems like they're fine with talking right now, so I'm just staying there. I'm still ready to protect myself with the shield if I have to, but we have a line of communication, so
So, roll me another history check.
okay. Come on, don't fuck me.
I mean, history's been your one consistent good one. So this is the one
Not
time
this
where it's
time,
going to
but-
fuck you.
Yep.
One thing to you is the one thing that kind of stands out, at least
Mm-hmm.
in what you've kind of garnered from all of this. You remembered correctly in your initial assessment. Goblins usually do respond when the leader is threatened. And Leaf reported that there is somebody here that looks like a leader. They don't normally have leaders outside of their settlement, though.
Hmm. Look, we know there's a handful of you, and we know one of you looks like they're in charge, at least by our standard. Can we talk? I would rather not have to fight, but we can come to an agreement here.
A moment seems to pass. And then you hear kind of the same pause and spit. Talk.
Is it another voice that's talking, or is it the same?
It's the same voice.
Okay. I will admit I don't know much about your kind, but I do know from what I have learned that you don't normally have leaders outside of your towns, settlements. So, like you said, something pushed you this way. Maybe we can help you push back.
You hear what sounds like some footsteps. And then you hear the voice from a little bit further away go, "Fire! Come!"
Okay. Just me or
Fire!
our friends
Come!
able to come? Okay. I will gesture to the right to follow along, and I'll move up.
The same just thumbs up back at everybody.
Yep. Yay! Literally hard right now.
Got this, guys. Don't worry. And you can see, as you get up there, where the goblins seem to have formed this semicircle around the fire. Everyone roll me a perception who's going up there.
I guess that'll be Leaf Sal, so advantage again.
Sure.
Man, I'm just not percepting tonight.
Oh dear fucking
Apparently
God, you
neither's
stupid
the
owl.
owl, so it's
I
okay.
have a passive of 14, if that helps.
Ukron's got
Mike.
this.
I don't know if I was supposed to roll with advantage too, but I don't think it matters.
No, the first one would still be what you would get there, and I mean, but I'm gonna move y'all all
a
up.
23
this.
versus a 20, I'm not worried.
Yeah, but still, it was the first roll. So, as these goblins in the firelight, when you get up here, you can tell they look fucking battered. Like, it's not just trail weary. Like, it's not just that they look like they've been going for a while and having to survive. They've been through some shit. And the person kind of sitting in the middle is the one that you would safely assume would be the leader here, as they seem to have the more noticeable markings and everything on it. And even in that moment, you notice that they seem to be nursing a black eye. They just kind of sit there amongst their people, and they're kind of on a little stoop, and they've got little rocks and logs kind of around the fire.
Mhm.
You help, you sit.
Where'd you get that black eye?
You help, you sit.
I will make a show of good faith, and also feeling more confident there. And
I
I'll
will
put
just
my
sit.
shield away. Putting my shield away, and I will take a seat as well.
Goblins not big people. Not mighty.
Would you say human? Bigger?
No. Listen.
Okay.
Another tribe came. Rougher. Violent. They push us out. We go.
Okay.
They come from west. Through ruins. Leader is not goblin.
So that sounds like the ruins that we're going to inspect, right? Ruins to the west.
Well, it could be. There's a lot of ruins to the west.
Do you know if they came through the ruins or from the ruins?
His eyes kind of get big and look side to side before he kind of just shrugs.
We did investigate some ruins that are not that far west, as I'm assuming that's where you're from. Some creatures were trying to restore them.
He shakes his head. No. We
Okay.
further west. We not here. We
Right.
are moving now.
Right. Okay. Have you ever been to the ruins further west? The ones where you say the other tribe came from?
Those are creepy ruins. We don't go there.
Okay. Is there more of your tribe left out there? Were they killed or assimilated by the other tribe?
Some tribes left. Some tribes run, some tribes join. Some stay.
Well,
New tribe leader.
mhm.
He very big. Make wiggly hen wiggle wiggle.
Some kind of magic user,
Wiggle wiggle.
right? Was he human? Was he...
No.
No?
Brrr! He stands up and like gestures out grandly with his arms, making this big hulking motion.
So Ukrod?
Okay.
Like an ogre?
Two. He starts pointing at his forehead.
Two heads?
Oh.
2 brains?
Two voice.
2 voices?
Yes, 2 heads.
Okay.
Oh. I thought they were saying 2 voices and no to 2
So-
heads.
No, yeah, it was saying yes. It's yes, 2 heads, 2
Okay.
voices.
Do I know anything that has 2 heads?
I mean, there are 2-headed ogres.
Hmm.
They're very rare.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we are supposed to investigate those ruins, the creepy ruins. Is the new tribe closer to us or further than the ruins? So they pushed you
Ruins,
away.
very big. Many ruins.
Right.
Lots of ruins.
Yeah. I'm assuming we have a map of the region.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who
Same.
would have it, but
Because you have the, like, essentially this
Since-
one that you've been using, and you have your X's on.
yeah. Since Brina has cartographer's tools, I'm guessing you would have the map.
I mean, makes sense to me. So we officially electing Brenna as the map keeper.
She has my vote.
Brenna, are you our new Dora?
And my quarterstaff.
So, there,
Um,
there you are.
Yeah, I will call out to Brina and ask for the map to try and like point with the goblins and kind of ask if the tribe was like closer or farther than. if they can even read a map. I don't know.
Nope. They can read, but they look at where you're gesturing here, and they say no, and they point to here.
Is that the creepy ruins, or is that where the tribe is?
Oh, the one marked with a skull. How convenient.
The one, yes, that's the one.
Hey guys, look, this one has a skull on it. I think the adventure is there.
no, that's the very bad warning thing is here.
This is the you don't have level high enough to enter this area.
I'm not seeing a skull. Is it the one at the top?
Over.
Like this one?
No. It's this one.
I'm still not seeing it. I don't see a skull there. It's only got 2 eye holes, not 3.
What kind of skulls have you been seeing?
That's a really
one?
good question. So yeah, no, they're saying that this is not where they're seeing things, but this is where they're seeing things, where they know as the creepy ruins.
Okay, and is that where the new tribe is?
He
Did
like
they
makes a
settle there?
fist, like cupping his other fist, and then makes an explosion gesture out of his other hand. Emerge.
Okay, they blew up the ruins.
No, they emerge from ruins.
They came out of the ruins.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, that's concerning. Hmm. Now, I understand that you've had a rough go at it. Would you be willing to assist us in? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not
Immediately
gonna be
gets a
right
serious
now.
look on his face.
Would you be willing to assist us in taking back your land?
They just kind of stare at you for a moment, and kind of for a moment look you up and down. Roll me insight.
Just how broad are all of us?
You just got read short.
I'm being genuine about it.
Oh, I know. And I am communicating exactly what they've just...
Yeah.
And he just kind of goes, we go south.
Okay. Now, look, I understand that you might be used to not being welcome in, certain places by humans and other species. If you, approach openly, there could be some assistance potentially. There is a church you came by. Maybe they could offer you food. Maybe you could help them in return. Have a place to stay for a bit.
he looks really confused at the reference of the word church.
Big building to worship gods.
The word worship seems to kind of ignite a recognition in his eyes. Worship! Worship! Yes!
Yes. It's a big building for worship.
He seems confused again at big building for worship, but he seems willing to put those things together.
Mm-hmm. I'll point to the ruin and like make a gesture like bigger.
After a moment of considering it, you realize that with tribes and folk like this, it's not necessarily that it's building that's confusing to them, but that their connection to worship might not be involved inside in any way.
Well, it's a place for worship. You understand that. If you help, maybe tax bandits, things like that. They could help you in return. Give you food, give you a place to sleep.
Food. Yes. Food.
Maybe we could even share some food right now, and I'll look back to Bo with their brand new cooking utensils.
You gesture, and all of a sudden there's just 5 pairs of beady eyes just looking at Bo. Show us!
Yeah, I whip up something. I'm trying to think of something that doesn't involve a lot of ingredients, but yeah, I could bake something. Or make some pancakes or something. The flour can be made into lots of stuff.
Yes, it can. With a variety of ingredients, you can make a number of things out of just those basics. You're able, rather simply, to work something up. Make me a proficient wisdom check to show your tool usage.
Proficient wisdom check.
So we're adding your... I mean, if you just roll wisdom, I think it'll just be a +2 at this level, right?
Mm-hmm.
My wisdom +2, or...
Yes. It'll be whatever you roll on wisdom +2. Because that's your proficiency.
Did I do a check?
So 17.
Or... Yeah, 17.
So you managed to whip up some fairly good scallion and mushroom pancakes for everybody. Using just the small bit of ingredients that you managed to have around you, and what people have managed to provide you, and what you can spice out of your handy little spice sack. You're able to compile this in just about 20 minutes for everybody. The goblins seem increasingly eager and are just kind of clutching them in their hands. Just it looks like they probably haven't eaten in a few days.
Probably.
I mean, either that or it's how goblins eat. You're not entirely sure. You haven't really spent time around goblins, but they look pretty famished.
Or these are just the most delicious pancakes of all time.
Or that. Definitely a strong possibility of that.
I'll give each of them an extra pancake off my plate and eat one of my rations just so they have enough.
I was gonna say, because if not, they're gonna be like turning grabby hands towards Bo once they finish. You're gonna be like, more, 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 more.
Brenna,
Well,
are
how
you
many
gonna eat
goblins?
There's
How
5
many
goblins.
do I? Yeah, but if with one use of baking or cooking, how many goblins do I feed?
I mean, I will say reasonably out of 1 use, assuming 1 use would be the same amount that you would be able to make like roughly a cake and everything with, mixing these ingredients and understanding that those things are kind of thin to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I will say you're able to make a good 25 of them.
25 pancakes.
Yep. You're just kind of griddling them out, you know?
And 20 are going for the goblins.
Right? And they're just.
All right.
So, is there anything else that you guys are trying to ask or get from these goblins?
I will ask if they walked by or through the ruins that we're supposed to go investigate.
He seems kind of confused for a moment as he thinks about it. Think so?
Was there anything weird or creepy about those ruins? Or was it just ruins?
Just kind of shrugs. Just ruins!
Okay. Well, that's good, I think.
And then you, after everybody kind of eats and have this conversation, they kind of begin telling tales a little bit about everything. Everyone roll me insight as they're doing this. The stories that he tells seem to be ones that, you know, you recognize are kind of traumatic in nature, but are obviously just secondhand to them, talking about squabbles between goblins where one of them is left missing an eye, power struggles between various tribes where one of them ends up basically murdering the rest of the other tribe and them remembering it fondly. But
Lovely.
it's just some of the geography just doesn't quite line up in the stories, though. But the rest of the night, it seems to pass uneventfully. You guys are able to camp out there with them. They will each just kind of go back into the... I didn't mean to take the fire with me. Go back into the... go back into the...
Give fire back.
the building to kind of camp on their own and leave you guys alone. And they will just kind of sleep peacefully. Though they seem like really loud snorers.
Goblins have a lot of apnea problems.
It's the big noses. They just don't really have good clearance there.
Mm.
But yeah. As you begin to slumber, leave. And your dreams are a little restless. your dreams find yourself walking through gilded streets of hollowed lands with oaks the size of buildings, with buildings, in fact, built into them, archways descending through their boughs, twinkling lights filtering in between their boughs and branches as you see elf folk walking amongst them. And then you realize it's not just elves. You see others like yourself. And in fact, other creatures. That one there looks like a walking mushroom. And there goes somebody that looks like a talking cat. And then you feel peace. Like you're at home. For the first time ever. And then there's a great flash. And you hear nothing but screaming. Nothing but running people. Fleeing hordes. And then you see the fire. You see as the tree begins to slowly light on fire, and the people, they're trying to run, but they can't get out of the tree fast enough. And you could do nothing but watch in horror as the fire spreads and these people scream and run. And then in the very end, you can see the shadows coming through the flame. But they're not people. No, they have horns. And you wake up in a cold sweat.
What the fucking hell did I eat last night?
And that's where we'll end the session.
Mushrooms.
Good fucking lord.
Also, thinking about it, I just want to say, I would probably more guide the goblins towards Willow Pit Farm rather than towards the creepy priest. Because the priest, I feel like he's gonna be a Karen and call the cops. So I would send them towards the hippie.
I mean,
and make sure to tell them to avoid James Shield Farm.
It's very possible that you might end up having to talk to that priest again and find out what their whole deal is. You know, it's very possible that something might happen that's going to lead you to that, back to that church. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you'll have some answers. But today...
That's where the missing child is.
Today,
oh wait, never mind.
It is a
girl.
priest.
Today you got lots of warnings and weird missives of things that are very quickly approaching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everything's okay.
Yeah. Nah. It's fine. There's no greater lore around this side of the world or things that have happened or anything like that. It's totally fine.
Yeah, especially mentioning seeing others that are like me, but apparently are different than the other elves that were walking around.
Well, yes.
And then everyone dying in fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, cool.
Wait a minute. Gosh. Didn't somebody else get a warning about fire?